Have you ever felt like you were running out of time? Like your dreams were slipping away and there was no way to catch them? Meet Jake. He thought his chance at success had passed him by. Stuck in a dead-end job, fighting his own self-doubt, he had almost given up on his dream. But what if I told you that sometimes the secret to success isn't in your first try? What if I told you that everything you've been through, every failure and every setback, is leading you to your second chance? And this time nothing can stop you? Stay with me till the end of this story, because you won't believe how Jake turned his life around, and how you can too. Life doesn't always go as planned. Sometimes it feels like success is reserved for others, and we're left behind. But the truth is, success isn't about your first try. It's about making the most of the second chances you get. This is the story of Jake, a young man who thought he had missed his shot at success, only to discover that with persistence and the courage to start again, anything is possible. Jake grew up with big dreams. As a kid, he imagined himself running a business, doing something meaningful. But life didn't make it easy. His family struggled with money, and Jake had to work through school just to get by. By the time he graduated high school, he couldn't afford to go to college, so he took a job at a fast food restaurant. For years, Jake felt stuck, wondering if he'd ever escape the cycle of working long hours for little pay. He began to doubt himself and his dreams. Maybe he wasn't meant for something bigger. Maybe he was just another person stuck in a job he didn't love. One night, after a long shift, Jake had a conversation with Mr. Harris, a regular customer. Mr. Harris was an older man who had been in business for years. After chatting about life and what it took to be successful, Mr. Harris shared a piece of advice that would change Jake's life. Success doesn't come from the first chance. It comes from all the second chances you give yourself. Don't be afraid to start over. Each failure teaches you something important. Jake couldn't stop thinking about those words. It clicked. Maybe it wasn't too late for him to chase his dreams. The next morning, Jake made a decision. He signed up for an online business course with the little money he had saved. It wasn't much, but he knew it was a step forward. He didn't have all the answers, but he knew one thing. He couldn't stay where he was. Jake worked hard learning business strategies, marketing, and how to run a website, all while working at the restaurant. There were days when he felt exhausted and nights when self-doubt crept in. But he kept going. He reminded himself the secret to success wasn't quitting. It was sticking with it, even when things felt tough. After months of learning, Jake finally launched his first online business, an e-commerce store selling cool gadgets. The first few months were tough. He didn't make many sales, and sometimes it felt like he wasn't getting anywhere. But Jake didn't give up. He kept tweaking his website, reaching out to potential customers, and improving his marketing. Then, slowly but surely, sales started coming in. It wasn't huge at first, but it was enough to show Jake that his hard work was paying off. Over time, his business grew. Within a year, Jake was making more money from his online business than he had ever made at the restaurant. Jake didn't just stop there. He realized that his story could inspire others. So he started mentoring other young entrepreneurs who felt stuck, just like he once did. He became a source of motivation, teaching people that the key to success is never giving up on yourself, even when it feels impossible. As his business grew, Jake's story went viral on social media. He was invited to speak at conferences, sharing his journey and encouraging others to keep going. Jake had turned his life around, not because he was lucky, but because he refused to quit. Jake's story shows us that success isn't about the first try, it's about having the courage to start over when things don't go as planned. It's about picking yourself up after each failure and pushing forward. If you're feeling stuck, remember, your second chance is waiting for you. All it takes is one step in the right direction. Success is for anyone who is willing to keep trying. Don't be afraid to fail, because with every failure comes a new chance to succeed.